Greetings, adventurers, travelers, and fellow keepers of the lake. How are you all doing? Welcome. Have you ever considered how weird it is to be a GM? You're like playing a game, but in reality, you are the world, the monsters, the NPCs, the weather, the tavern owner, and occasionally the sentient loaf of bread that screams insults at players.
Yeah. Screw you, adventurer. You're nothing but a donkey. You will not eat me. Not today, adventurer. Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot. I had this conversation with my friend, and it got me thinking, what if the DM was a character, a narrator character, a storyteller character? You know about the unreliable narrator concept. Well, that doesn't really work for D&D because, yeah, you can't be unreliable if you're their eyes into the world. But I think there are situations where the narrator can also be a character, and the way that things are described is through their eyes, still accurate but maybe skewed to match their own perception. And if done right, it can give a hint to the players when the perception is skewed. And I think there's something there. So why do this? Well, for me personally, I think D&D and TTRPGs in general are there to push the boundaries a bit. And it has been done in other forms of art. Writers have done it, and also you can see this even in video games. Slay the Princess, Stanley's Parable, I think the name of the game is. They have narrators that have their own quirks, and of course, some of them can be considered unreliable narrators if they're like giving you one information and then change their mind. This is not what I'm aiming at. So let's show some examples of role-playing the narrator character and talk about when not to do this, because I think that's even more important than how to do it. You can approach this in multiple ways. You can say that the players have a voice stuck in their head, or the player became a child out of nowhere. They drank a potion of youth that has like a certain duration, and for this session, or for like the next 10 minutes, which is more suiting in my opinion, they see the world as a child. So why not make the descriptions match this? The world is described from the perspective of a child. Everything is magical, larger than life, and emotionally exaggerated. They come to the castle isn't just big, it's the biggest thing you've ever seen. It's like, it has 10 billion towers and dragons spewing fire from it. You can push it even further. The dragon isn't just scary because it breathes fire. It's because it ate my imaginary friend. I saw him. It ate him whole. So basically focus on the grandiose, the whimsical, the immediate. Characters and settings might shift in tone to reflect the childlike wonder. And then when the player is attached to this dreamlike world of a child, bam, you just entered the second narrator. For example, the aging potion malfunctioned. It was created by someone who doesn't know the art of potion making, and they become an elder person. And the same world is now filtered through the mind of an old storyteller. The descriptions are detailed and nostalgic. The focus shifts to themes of loss, legacy, and time. So, the dragon? Oh, sure, it's there, but the real tragedy is the crumbled bridge we all used to walk to get here, back when we were still young. This castle used to be the greatest, and to host the greatest balls, and now it's just stones. Just stones like all of us. Even the gargoyles have fallen apart. Nothing is as it was, and the government and the king, they're not doing anything to keep the legacy alive. So you see how it changes the perception of the world. The big dragons on the tower are actually gargoyles falling apart. The million towers are just rocks. The dragon that is somewhere out there, and we all know it exists, is not the focus anymore because it's not immediate danger. The bridge is more useful, it's practical. So you see how that paints a different picture. Of course, I'm exaggerating very much here, and of course, you don't need to use a voice for that. It's just the style of description is what you need to focus on. In between these two characters, you see how for the older one, the mundane becomes poetic and the magical becomes bittersweet. Now, back to that concept of unreliable narrator. I said it's not something that you should use without great caution because you are the eyes of the players, as we said. But it can be interesting. Imagine going into Feywild and being possessed by a Fey demon. The DM losing grip on reality and descriptions repeating, shifting, contradicting themselves can create this feeling of disorientation in a way. Did I say it was a red door? No, sorry. It's blue. What? Did someone move it? It should be here. Wait, it is here? It shouldn't be here at all. Again, exaggerating a lot here, but we use confusion to seed the mystery. What's happening to the narrator? Why is he going all cuckoo? So now maybe the most important part of this video is when not to do this. First, I will start with saying that NPCs should stay NPCs. So when you're role-playing an NPC, it's players' direct connection to the world, and the dialogue and the actions of NPCs need to be set in stone. Of course, NPCs can lie, but that's a whole nother topic and a whole nother thing. The practical rule here is keep the NPCs in their own lane, speak directly as the NPCs when interacting with the players, and let the role-played narrator just color the descriptions of the world and not the dialogue or the personality of its inhabitants. The other rule I think is crucial here is never use this approach when clarity is critical. So if a scene involves a crucial plot exploration, puzzles, mechanics that are heavily detailed, you doing this will just muddy the waters and it will cause confusion. If you feel like it's getting too much and it's getting out of hand, just say to your players, you continue seeing the world in this way and continue talking in your own voice. It should be there to enhance, not hinder. I mean, it all boils down to just limiting this technique to those descriptions that start with you see and you feel. And my friend actually told me that using you see or you feel as starters for a certain sentence or description, like unrelated to this video, is something that you might want to avoid. So I'm thinking about making a video about that. If you think things like this are interesting to you, well, consider clicking the subscribe button. Where was I? Yes, also I don't even have to mention during combat or fast-paced scenes, this is just not working. It's gonna cause annoyance, it's not precise enough, especially if you're playing something that's not like powered by the apocalypse system where it's all narrative in a way. If you're playing something that's even a bit tactical and there are stakes involved, don't do this. So yeah, I would be interested to hear what you think of this interesting experiment. Is it something that brings more intrigue to your game or just something that would cause complete chaos and confusion? Either way, it's an experiment worth trying, and if you're running a one-shot, why not do it like for 10 minutes, 20 minutes? I think it might be fun, a fun twist for your game, and I'd love to hear how it goes for you. So if you end up trying it out, come back to this video, watch it through the end again, and leave a comment and like and all that stuff, because we're hacking the algorithm here. First our brains, then the algorithm, before they become synonymous. Of course, if you got questions, ideas, you want to share your own experiences, come hang out on our Discord server. It's where we keep the creativity flowing. So I will now go to the other room of the studio and start filming the podcast. I'm so excited for that. Yes,
The Lake Forge Podcast
is going to be live next week. I hope to see you there, but until then, I bid you
farewell, keepers.